Space weather forecast. Date January 29, 2014. Prepared jointly by the U.S. Department of Commerce, NOAA, Space Weather Prediction Center and the U.S. Air Force. Updated 2014 January 29, 2200 hours UTC Joint U.S. Air Force NOAA Solar Geophysical Activity Report and Forecast, SDF number 29 issued at 2200 hours UTC on January 29, 2014. With the return of old regions 1944 and 1946, now numbered 1967 and 1968, there has been an increase in solar activity. 1967 has produced a handful of M1, NOAA scale R1 minor, solar flares over the past 36 hours. No significant activities such as an Earth-directed CME have been observed in association with these flares, yet. As these regions rotate across the visible solar disk over the next 12 days, we'll be keeping a watch out for more activity. Analysis of solar active regions and activity from January 28, 2100 hours UTC to January 29, 2100 hours UTC. Solar activity has been at moderate levels for the past 24 hours. The largest solar event of the period was an M2 event observed at January 28, 2216 UTC from region 1967, S12E67. There are currently 5 numbered sunspot regions on the disk. Geophysical Activity Summary January 28, 2100 hours UTC to January 29, 2100 hours UTC. The geomagnetic field has been at quiet levels for the past 24 hours. Solar wind speed, as measured by the ACE spacecraft, reached a peak speed of 530 km per second at January 29, 9:03 UTC. Total IMF reached 12 NT at January 28, 2225 UTC. The maximum southward component of BZ reached -6 NT at January 29, 7:08 UTC. Geophysical Activity Forecast. The geomagnetic field is expected to be at quiet to active levels on January 30, quiet to unsettled levels on January 31 and quiet levels on February 1. Solar Activity Forecast. Solar activity is likely to be moderate with a slight chance for an X-class flare on January 30, January 31, February 1. Today's space weather by the Australian Bureau of Meteorology. Wednesday, January 29, last updated January 29, 12:48 UTC. Moderate solar flare activity, with the chance of high activity, M and possibly X-class flares, from the large, complex region that has already produced numerous M-class flares. Minor coronal hole effects in progress. Moderate solar wind. Geomagnetic conditions at quiet to unsettled levels. Shortwave radio fade-outs possible. High-frequency radio communications normal to good. A chance of aurora sightings in southern Tasmania.